All right, and we are live. Welcome, brothers, to another show. Today, I have one of my biggest guests, one of my biggest interviews in the building today, Dennis Jeanpierre. How's everything going with you, brother?
What's that? What's going on?
Man, I think I interviewed one of our first interviews went like mini viral. I think we got like probably 180,000 views in the interview about why is it so hard for brothers to leave Brazil? That's the interview.
Yeah, man. It's still in my suggested videos. Like when I first opened up YouTube, it's like still, I see it there every once in a while.
Yeah, me too, man. It's amazing because when you get that many views, that's like my first big video on YouTube, basically that went to like 100,000 plus, and you see all the comments, and for the most part, the majority of the comments are all positive. But then you have those little minority of comments. You be like, really?
Yeah,
that
video, I catch a little bit of heat, and also my Brazil dating stories video, I still get heat from it.
Now
I still get heat from it, but it's all good.
Yeah, and I gotta drop your link in the description, man. If you brothers have not subscribed to Dennis Jeanpierre's channel, man, make sure you go and subscribe because this brother speaks good Portuguese, man. He's all around Brazil. I mean, tell us some cities you went to Brazil this time on your last trip there.
My first stop was Rio. I went to Florianópolis, which is like a 2-hour flight southwest of Rio. Then I kicked it up to Salvador, Bahia, then to Fortaleza, which is in the northeastern part of Brazil, then to Belém, and then to Manaus. Manaus is in the Amazon region of Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And out of all those cities, what was your favorite city?
I'm gonna rank it like this: Rio's number 1, Manaus is number 2, and Fortaleza is number 3.
Mm-hmm. And why would Rio be number 1?
Because Rio has it all. Rio has the beaches, the energy, the nightlife, the food, the social vibe is great. I mean, it has it all. There's only one Rio, like I said before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I actually love that city. I haven't been out there in a minute, but I can't wait to get back, man. I love Rio. And what would you say your second city was again?
Manaus, Brazil.
So tell us about Manaus. Did you fly straight there, or?
Yeah, I flew from Belém, Brazil. It's like a 2-hour flight from Belém. Belém is in the northeastern part of Brazil, and I flew directly from Belém to Manaus. Mm-hmm. And Manaus is basically a major city in the middle of the jungle. I mean, literally, it's nothing surrounding that place, man. It's just all jungle, and it's just when you look at it, it kind of has a LA vibe to it. It's spread out. It also has a Miami vibe to it, but it's really nice, man. It's not fun with crime and stuff like that. It's a really nice city, man. I can see myself living there. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, really? And what's like the cost out there, the price of living and everything out there?
It's cheap. It's cheap. You're not gonna spend as much as you would in a place like Rio because Manaus is not a major tourist destination. Manaus is not. Manaus is along the river. There's the Rio Negro and the Amazon River. Both those rivers touch Manaus, so it's river culture. It's not beach culture there. You know what I'm saying? Rio is like beach culture, surfer culture.
Right, and you felt pretty comfortable out there. I know you say it's not that many tourists out there.
No, and this is funny. I said this in one of my videos that walking around, the people didn't know that I was American. They thought that I was. Some people thought I was Haitian. They thought I was either Haitian. They thought I was from Rio, from Salvador Bahia, or from Haiti. So that was kind of shocking.
Got you. And was there a lot of Afro Brazilians out there, or?
Not many. There's not many Black Brazilians there, and there's not many white Brazilians there. It's mostly mixed or indigenous.
Got you. And when you say indigenous, how do the indigenous people look out there?
Like the typical native people you see here in America, like Indians, what we call Indians.
Mm-hmm. So like brownish, reddish skin.
Brownish,
somewhat.
reddish. They look like the stereotypical Mexican person here in the United States. And you got some of them. You got a lot of Venezuelans there. Because Venezuela is very close to Manaus, so a lot of Venezuelans, they migrated there.
I got a question from Simple Logic. He asks, "What is river culture?"
Basically, people live along the river. I mean, people they use the river to sustain themselves. When I was flying into Manaus, you could see like these little remote little houses. You know what I'm saying? That you can't access by road, by car. You can only get there through a boat. So the river is what sustains a lot of the people out there. It's not nice. So you're not gonna find shrimp and stuff like that. Shrimp is like from the ocean. It's not from the river.
Got you. So do they eat out the river too? Like is it like seafood in the area?
Yes. Or? Absolutely. They got this this fish called tambaqui. And they fry the whole fish. They cook the entire fish and serve it to you. And you just pick from it, including the head and the tail. It's the whole fish. But it's good though. It's very good.
Okay, and then from there you went to what other city you say you enjoyed?
I went to Belém, Brazil. Belém is a major city in the northeastern part of Brazil. I didn't like Belém.
All right, so,
a couple of Brazilians warned me up.
Go ahead.
A couple of Brazilians warned me not to go up there because they say, you know, Belém is ugly. Don't go there. They were right. It's not a pretty city, man. It's run down. A lot of the buildings are not. They look like they haven't been maintained and kept up. The sidewalks are all jacked up. I mean, it's not. It looks a little dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You could see sometimes in some neighborhoods how it could be dangerous. I didn't like it at all.
How long was you there?
I was there for a week.
Okay. Oh well, you spent some time there.
Yeah, I was there to meet my man DJ Philippe from New York. He had a lady there. He had a lady there, and he was going down there to see her. So I said, "Hey, I'm already up here in this region. We can link up." So I went to kick it with him, and we went to this remote island called Algo do Ao. It's like an hour away from Belém, and on this island, there's no motor vehicles. There's no motorcycles, no cars. It's all horse and buggy.
Oh wow, that's crazy. And is that a good thing or?
It was. I mean, the island is not big. I mean, so. I mean, it's not that much of an inconvenience, but there's no modern amenities up there. But it was an interesting experience.
And then the next city you went to was it Florianópolis or?
Florianópolis, yes.
Okay, now tell us about that city.
Florianópolis is in the state of Santa Catarina. It's in one of the southernmost states in Brazil. Because, you know, in South America, the further south you go, the colder the climate gets. So Florianópolis is in Santa Catarina. Then you got Rio Grande do Sul. That's the southernmost state in Brazil. So it's mostly white down there, or what we would classify as Caucasian. And Florianópolis it reminds me of San Francisco. The way the layout of the city is, you got the different parts. It's actually an island. Florianópolis, beautiful beaches, man. A lot of beautiful beaches. It's more conservative. It's not wild like Rio de Janeiro. It's more conservative, but it's a very beautiful place. It seemed like the type of place that you could raise a family.
Nice, man. Because I see you did a video out there. You was on the beach, right? Yeah,
I was in the beach, and I was walking around downtown, walking around the main areas, and it's a nice city, man. It's a pretty city. I saw some houses too. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
I saw some houses out there, man. I felt like I was in Beverly Hills, man.
Mm-hmm.
I saw communities out there. I'm like, look at these houses. They look modern, like anything you see here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
Nice. And I saw on your channel, man, you was always around some beautiful women. Is it like easy to do the cold approach out there, or was you like pipelining through Tinder? Yeah,
Florianópolis, not so much. Not so much.
Okay.
I didn't get a lot of choosing signals there, but that's cool. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, it's more conservative culture. I think the emphasis is more on families and couples and things like that.
So that might be an area you take your girl to or something like that.
Absolutely. I would, as a matter of fact, I made the suggestion, if you're going to go to Florianópolis, bring somebody with you.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Global Paper, man. Global Paper is always talking about some, what did he say? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's another cat. That's Rod Yo, I believe. Models, open bottles or die, something like that. But he says Brazil is wide open. I just got back from Sao Paulo.
Models and bottles.
Yeah, models and bottles. Yeah, that's the other guy. Okay. Sorry about that, Global Paper. But he says Brazil is wide open. I got back from Sao Paulo. Guys, notion of dressing. Don't forget about. I think you're talking about as far as the dressing. Now, when you was down there, man, I know we talked on the phone a few times while you was out there. That was before any COVID restrictions, right?
No, it was during the COVID restrictions.
Oh, okay.
I got down there. Like maybe they start restricting people because of the COVID.
But
so I got there. I got to Rio and I didn't have to take any tests. I just went straight through. Now on the way back, I was in Manaus and I found the place that offers the COVID test. So I got the swab stuck up my nose, had my brain with it, and they sent me the result the next day through my phone, and I was able to get on the plane and come back.
Okay, and did you have to take any type of yellow fever shot to leave Brazil or go to Brazil?
Nah.
Because I think if I try to fly to Brazil and come back to Colombia, I believe they're talking about I might need a yellow fever shot or something like that.
Nah, I don't think so.
Now let me ask you this, bro. Like, what motivates you? Because you're doing some real exploring. Most guys, they go to Rio, they might go to Salvador Bahia, and they go back home. What motivated you to travel around the whole entire country?
Well, I wanted to go off the beaten path. I wanted to go off the beaten path. I wanted to explore other parts of the country that perhaps other people haven't yet, or other Americans haven't yet, because I felt like too many people pounded the pavement in Rio de Janeiro already. You know what I'm saying? But nobody is, or almost nobody has been to Florianópolis or Belém or Fortaleza or Manaus. I was very curious about Manaus. I was very curious about it, so I said, screw it, let me just go on up there and see what's happening. Also, my Portuguese was good enough when I go to these places, because in the past, I was hesitant to go to these other cities because I wasn't really confident in my Portuguese ability. So now that my Portuguese is decent, I'm able to bounce around these places and check out what's going on.
That's a good point, man. Tell the brothers, because you helped me learn Spanish. You was helping me with some tips to learn Spanish. Tell the brothers your secrets to learning a different language, bro.
Basically, I do 20 minutes a day. Sometimes I go over, but I practice my language 20 minutes a day. I write out the language, just like we did when we was in school. I write it out, and I watch Brazilian novellas, or soap operas as they call them. I watch children's programming like Sesame Street and stuff like that. I watch movies with the subtitles on.
Right.
I mean, it really helps. I mean, when I first started learning it, I kind of made a mistake. I learned through reading and writing very well, but I had difficulty getting accustomed to hearing the language. Exactly.
That's a big problem with Spanish, man.
Exactly. So make sure you learn through hearing as well. Make sure you put as much emphasis through hearing the language as opposed to just reading and writing it.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when you first told me, you was just like, "Hey man, just watch some cartoons." I'm like, "Man, I ain't watching no damn cartoons, man. What you talking about, bro?" But you know what? I started watching cartoons. I grew up on like G.I. Joe and Transformers in Spanish. You can all find them on YouTube, and it's like a little nostalgia doing that. I'm like, "Oh, I remember this episode. You know, this kid, but they just speaking in Spanish, and they speak it slow, and they pronounce their words more, and it helps." Because you're going back to that kid's age a little bit there, and now it's like opening a secret door. Like, you remember this when you was a kid? Okay, now watch it in Spanish, and you like okay, and you start to understand. It helps you to understand the language, because that's the big point, especially in Spanish. Because I don't care how many Spanish words you know. I don't care if you know how to put some sentences together. When you try to conversate with somebody in Spanish, especially if it's more than one of them, right? So if it's some guys, 2-3 guys speaking Spanish, and you're the only English speaker there, you don't really know what they're saying because you haven't trained your ear to learn Spanish. But as I live here, it's getting better and better. It's starting to open up. But the cartoons really, really helped me, man. That was one of the gritty Spanish with Paul, and looking at animation and cartoons in Spanish really helps, bro. I appreciate that tip.
Because how do we learn English when we were kids? We watched Sesame Street and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing. I'm just taking it back to when we were first learning our native language, using the same thing.
Exactly. And it's funny, man, because I saw a comment on one of the videos. It was like, brothers ain't going to learn a different language. And I'm like, are you sure? Because there's brothers out here that know 5 languages out here in Colombia.
Right.
You know, because in Europe, in Europe, like in France, a lot of cats that live in France, they already know Spanish before you even get here. Their educational system puts more of an emphasis, like Germany and everything. Their education it puts an emphasis on learning different languages more so than ours. We do Spanish 1, Spanish 2 in high school. We barely pass it, and then as soon as we leave high school, we don't know no more. We don't know any Spanish, right? But over there, I noticed that some of the French and the Europeans, they come out here and they already know 2 different languages, which is kind of messed up when you think about it. Because America really needs to change the educational system a little bit better, man.
And also, those countries are smaller. They have different countries that are nearby. So, you know what I'm saying? It kind of makes more sense to learn different languages because the next country is only an hour or 2 plane right away.
There you go.
America's pretty big. Brazil is pretty big. So we kind of live in our own big old bubble.
Now, let me ask you this. You went to these different. I know you're gonna say besides Rio, what other city had a pretty nice little nightlife?
Well, here's the thing. I couldn't get a good gauge of the nightlife because almost every city that I visited had a lockdown.
That's true. So oh man, that's kind of sucks when you're exploring the country and it's a damn quarantine going on, right?
Man, it was a nightmare, man. I went to Fortaleza, not Fortaleza, Florianópolis. The nightlife was okay, man. It wasn't really all that for Florianópolis. I didn't get a chance to get around as much as I could because you got an Uber everywhere out there in Florianópolis. It's not everything, depending on where you stay, everything's not close by. But Salvador, I could tell the nightlife was pretty decent, even though it locked down 2 days after I got there. Fortaleza has a decent nightlife if you know where to go. But again, they had curfew, so I couldn't really get a good gauge of how everything was going as far as the nightlife is concerned. But Manaus as well. You gotta know where to go. There's no like club district like in Rio de Janeiro. You got Lapa. You got certain districts where you can go where you know everything, where everything is. But in some of these other cities, you gotta know where to go. You gotta ask around.
And out of all those cities, man, once again, besides Rio, because we already know we spoke about Rio women of Rio plenty of times. Where was like the beautiful women at? In which city?
There was some in Salvador. There was some in Salvador for sure, especially in the shopping malls. That's like the capital of the curly afros and the natural Brazilian hair. I love that, man. It's a really nice looking lady.
Yeah, I love that too. Salvador Bahia is where they at basically.
Well, they're everywhere. They're in every city that I visited, especially in the shopping malls. It's particularly in the shopping malls. You got a lot of attractive women that either work there or they pass through there. In Manaus too, it's a lot of attractive women up there. I mean, people were saying that in Rio de Janeiro, you turn your head a lot, like turn your head looking at different girls. In Manaus, I was turning my head a lot. They got this section of Manaus called Ponta Negra. It's like one of the more upscale neighborhoods in Manaus. And they got the high-rise apartments or whatever. And they got this little beach walk area. Like on Friday and Saturday afternoon and Friday night, you got a lot of people walking around. And there's a lot of good-looking girls walking around too. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So Manaus got the ladies too.
Nice, man. Very nice, man. And just give a brother some game. How would you like approach a woman out there? Of course, I know you know a lot of Portuguese. You basically speak Brazilian Portuguese, but are they like approachable basically?
Well, I go by eye contact. You know what I'm saying? If I see a woman out somewhere, if I'm walking somewhere and I see she gives me eye contact, I'll go approach. You know what I'm saying? Occasionally I'll cold approach. One thing I noticed about Brazilian women, particularly when I was in Salvador, even if the women are not interested, they'll at least stop and listen to what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? You can tell right away whether or not they're interested, but at least they'll stop. If they're walking, they'll stop to talk to you, and they'll politely decline or whatever. But if you can speak a little bit of the lingo, it can go a long way, man. It can go a long way. It's like having a superpower. It's having a superpower.
Nice. And with that being said, do you think it's better? Because I know you're talking about eye contact, but is it better to kind of do your pipeline on Tinder or something like that, or Brazilian Cupid or something first?
Absolutely. I recommend pipelining before you get there. If you don't know anybody there, I recommend pipelining. Because you might meet a friend, you might meet a lady to show you around, to show you the different places. You know what I'm saying? But definitely try to establish a connection before you touch down.
We got a good question by our brother Simple Logic. I appreciate the $5 super chat, brother. He says, "Is Salvador a good place to go find a good woman that wants to have a family and will eventually potentially bring back to America?" What you think, Dennis?
I keep hearing yes. I only spent a week in Salvador, so I couldn't give a good gauge of the social dynamics there. But I keep hearing that yes, if you can really find a good woman out there, a loyal companion in Salvador.
Nice. Now let me ask you this: in certain countries, DR, even Colombia, when they find out you're American, it's a little prestige with it. Are they kind of like shocked to run into Americans out there, or it's just like whatever with it?
It depends on who you talk to. I mean, you get various reactions. I mean, some people look at you with interest. Some people are like, wow. Some people are like, whatever. It depends on who you talk to and where you at.
Nice, man. When you plan on traveling again, brother?
Next month, actually. I plan on coming down to Medellin.
Nice.
Check that out for a week or two, and then I'm gonna head on back down to Rio.
Right. Nice, man. I know we were speaking earlier before we went live. He was like, "Man, I'm ready to get the hell up out of here, get up out the States."
Yeah, man, I'm starting to feel the itch, man. I'm starting to feel the itch. Like I said before, and like I tell a lot of Brazilians, America's good for doing business and making money, but socially and culturally, it kind of sucks. I mean, I'm in Chicago. Chicago summertime is cool, but as far as dating, it's trash.
You know what? It's funny, man, because it goes across all cultures, right? Because I'm talking to this white guy, in the cafe this morning, and he was from West Philly, and he was just like, I was like, man, do you want to move back to America? He was like, hell no. He's been living in Argentina for 9 years, and now he's currently living in Colombia. And he was like, man, he said it's just no. He said the States is just dead. Like there's no culture. Like nobody wants to date no more. All the women want you to be rich and wealthy. Like it's just you can't do anything in the States. So it's not just brothers saying this. You got other races of guys saying this as well, man.
Your mic is out.
Oh, my mic is out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back now.
Okay.
But yeah, like this last trip, I was telling people, if I didn't have family here in the States, in Chicagoland, I wouldn't come back. For what? It's like the climate is better. The Brazil is somewhat geologically stable. The food is great. The social life is great. The dating life is great. I mean, what I got to come back for? My money goes a lot further. So come back for what?
Exactly. Man, we got 130 people in the room. I appreciate that, brothers. Do me a big favor and hit that like button when you come on in the room. Like I say, man, this is one of my biggest interview guys right here, bro. So it's probably gonna go viral too. And I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. Hey, brothers, make sure you subscribe to Dennis's YouTube channel as well, man, because he has a very dope YouTube channel. Like I've never seen. He's explored Brazil more than anybody I've seen on YouTube. So if you guys want any content, check out his channel. But go ahead. What were you going to say, brother?
I was going to say also that you also have to factor in that American culture is very closed and cliquish socially. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I like talking to strangers. I like talking to strangers. I like meeting new people. So, Brazilian culture is compatible with me. Whereas here in the States, it's kind of hard to establish friendships and connections with the same level of ease as it is in places like Brazil.
That's very funny you said that, because I'm the same way, man. I like to speak and meet new people as well. But in the States, the South not too bad. But I remember being in DC one time, and I made the mistake of telling somebody good morning. And the guys kind of looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I forgot we up."
And that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
It really shouldn't. And because down south we have it's still some Southern hospitality there out there. So we're gonna say good morning. How you doing, brother? Stuff like that. But up north, it's a little different up north, man. Now let me ask you this, man. You from Chicago? Now we get news from Chicago all the time. Unfortunately, it's pretty violent in that city. When you traveling to all these different cities, do you feel safe?
I don't feel. It's like this. I'm not scared. I mean, I'm cautious. I know how to watch my back and be aware of my surroundings. I'm always aware of my surroundings. But to say that to say that it's, do I feel unsafe? No, I don't feel unsafe. I don't feel unsafe. I don't go into bad neighborhoods unaccompanied. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere, not even here. You know what I'm saying? So if you just use basic common street sense and be aware of your surroundings at all times, and don't try not to stick out too much, you should be fine.
And when you was flying
I
into these
around,
different,
I walk around. Sometimes in Rio, I walk around at night at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too. When I was down there, I was walking around like that too.
So yeah, I mean, it don't do anything stupid. Don't engage in any illegal activity. Don't go into bad neighborhoods unaccompanied if you're not familiar with the area. And just use basic common sense, man. Don't secure your stuff whenever you invite somebody back to your crib. Basic stuff.
And let me ask you, when you was flying to these different cities, was you just using like Airbnb, the service to book your spots, or you had something else?
I always use Airbnb. Always use Airbnb because you got to have certain amenities. You know what I'm saying? At least with Airbnb, you can filter out which amenities that you need. Like, I got to have a washer and dryer in my unit. because I don't like going out hunting for, cleaners. I don't like lugging my clothes down the street and stuff like that. So, but just a quick note, I'm doing some hardware upgrades. I'm gonna purchase I purchased a better camera, and I'm gonna get a drone too. So there's some exciting stuff coming up the pipe for my channel.
Yeah, man. Like I said, because your channel grew pretty good while you was out there in Brazil, didn't it?
Yeah, before I left, I think I had like 300 something subscribers when I got to Brazil, and then when I left, it was over 3,000.
Yeah, man. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, these interviews help. I mean, the interviews with you, the interview with O'Shea, the interviews help get more exposure. Like
I said, with your channel, man, you really got it in. You was out there, because sometimes, like, guys go out to Brazil and they might not really explore. They might go to Rio. They might do a little quick video on the beach, but they're not really showing you what's really going on out there. But on your channel, you was everywhere, bro. I was seeing cities I never even heard of before. And I haven't heard too many cities besides Sao Paulo, Salvador Bahia, and Rio, basically. But Florianópolis and all these other cities you were talking about, I had no idea they even existed, bro. Until I watched your channel.
The interesting thing, every city has its own culture. Every city is just as diverse as every city here in America. You know what I'm saying? Every city in America is different, just like every city in Brazil is different. And also, one thing I noticed about a lot of content creators that go to Brazil, very few of them actually talk to the people.
Exactly.
You know very few of them, or none of them, actually speak to natives in their native tongue. And I feel like that's an important component that has to be in there in order for people to get a better feel. How do people think? How do people talk? This and this and that.
Yeah, man, because you was interviewing some beautiful women out there.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get a glimpse, to give people a glimpse of what it is to actually interact with the ladies there. Some of the people that work in these stores, some people that work in these shops, bicycle shops or whatever, to see how engaging they are.
Most definitely, man. Do me a favor, hit that like button. I got J. Clyde in the building. What's going on, J. Clyde? J. Clyde be down here in Colombia like every other month.
I know, right?
Shout out to my bro, J. Clyde, man. That's how you know Colombia is dope, and brothers are going back and forth. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get back to Rio, bro. I haven't been to Rio in a while. I mean, that was like my first real country I was traveling to. My barber almost scared me not to go, but it was the strength of listening to brothers like Charles Tyler and Alan Harper to say, hey, man, it's cool out here. I'm going to hold you down when you get out here. And these interviews, like you said, they really do help not only to build channels up, but to give brothers information so they know they won't be lost in the sauce when they get out there, man. Because when you go into a foreign country, you definitely want to do your homework, man. Most definitely want to do your homework on where not to go. Because there's a lot of scams out there. Let's be honest. There's a lot of scams out there. They target tourists in every country, just not, South America, but every country they target tourists. And you want to be hip on what's going on out there in Rio, man. Most definitely. Around the world, really.
Some of the stuff, the slick stuff that they try to do in Brazil, it's pretty slick. You know what I'm saying? They got their game tight as far as trying to scam people. Some of them do.
And what's some of the scams you know about?
Like, for example, I was on the beach one day in Rio, and it was three of us, three American dudes. And these two vendors, these two guys on the beach that were selling stuff, I noticed they came up, they tried to sell us something. We said no. And I saw them walk off, and I saw them having a little conference. They were talking to each other, and they were looking at us at the same time. So I said to myself, they up to something. They gonna try something slick. So lo and behold, they tried to steal my homie's phone. They tried to make him look one way while the other person slips his phone. And we caught him. You know what I'm saying? So, and also people will do stuff like, try to come up and hug you while the other person slips your phone out your pocket and stuff like that. You know, little stuff like that they try to be slick with that you got to look out for.
Yeah,
don't let nobody you don't know walk up on
you. Definitely. Like when they do that, I immediately like grab their hand away and move away from them because I know what they're trying to do. Because I got a guy like that in the DR for my cell phone one time. You know, one guy was talking to me while another girl came around. She started, you know, touching on me, trying to hug me. Oh, you're so handsome, all this stuff like that. Next thing I know, my cell phone gone. I'm like, oh damn, it got me for my little cell phone.
For sure.
And it's nothing worse, man. That's why I don't even buy when I'm traveling, man. I really don't even have an expensive cell phone only. My cell phone is you know, a couple $100 max, man. I have me a little old Android. I keep my iPhone in the crib, bro.
Good idea.
Yeah,
man said, do they have barbers that can cut brothers in Brazil? Of course. You got black people in Brazil.
Exactly. I had that same question in Colombia as well. These guys can cut out here. And I believe a cut is like, I know my beard, I pay like 10 pesos for my beard. So that's 10 pesos is like, I don't know if it's even $2. So it's very reasonable out here, man. Extremely reasonable, brother. But bro, when you come to Medellin, I'm gonna hold you down, man. We're gonna have a good time. You know, I'm gonna show you the differences in Rio and Medellin, Colombia, man. Both party cities. It's a holiday tonight, so it's gonna be a lot of partying going on tonight. I probably won't go nowhere, but it's gonna be a lot of partying going on tonight, man. The protests are starting to simmer down a little bit here. Since they opened the country back up, Medellin is wide open. So, you know, they want to kick tourism back up and it's going to pop off, bro.
Now, I remember you saying a while back that Brazil kind of ruins you if that's the first place you go, that you're going to be comparing every other place that you go to.
Not only that, everybody, not only that, bro, but when people ask, you know, where you've been around the world and you say Brazil first, it's always the question, well, what about Brazil over anything else?
Right.
You know? So, yeah, Brazil, that's a big boy trip. That's you know, you're really out there. You're not nowhere near America, first of all. The culture is totally different. So, yeah, man, Brazil has a way, bro. Rio has a way. Like, you're going to love it, bro. You're going to love it. You know, because you know what? I had no idea until I got to Brazil that it was, I mean, I saw City of God. That was my first introduction to you know, seeing some content in Rio in Brazil. But I didn't realize there was so many black people out there that looked like me and you. That's what threw me off. I'm like, damn, they black as hell out here in Brazil.
Oh yeah, black, tall and lanky. A lot of them. Black, tall, and lanky.
I know when I was out there, I was just shocked about how aggressive some of the women were in the nightclubs out there. You know, I was like, wow, these women are super aggressive out here.
Yeah, if you're not accustomed to that, it can be a shock. It can be a shock. The main difference between the Brazilian woman and the American woman is that if a Brazilian woman likes you, you're going to know it. If a Brazilian woman is feeling you, she's going to show it. You know what I'm saying? There's no deciphering. There's no guesswork. You know, they really, you know, they know how to show their interest. But at the same time, if they're not interested, you're going to know that too. So it just makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's very true, man. And Brazil, Colombia, they have like a romance cultures where you got to hold a woman's hand. It's open affection. So you're going to be in public. They're going to ask for a kiss, especially out here in Colombia. So that's something you got to get used to too. You like, oh man, you want to kiss right now? You know, it's just, it is what it is, man.
You got a couple of questions in the chat. How long was the flight from Chicago to Brazil? If you're going to Rio de Janeiro, it's about 11 hours, 11 and a half hours, because usually you go from Chicago to Miami, which is 3 hours, and Miami to Rio, which is like eight and a half hours. So that's like 11 and a half hours total on a plane.
Yeah, it's a good little flight. I like to break my flight up. I try my best to fly into Bogota and maybe get off a plane because you know I'm not a huge fan of long flights over 5 hours. So I just stop into Bogota, chill in Bogota for maybe a couple hours, do some sightseeing, and then hop on the plane and come on down to Rio. I believe it's like 4 or 5 hours from Bogota, if I'm not mistaken. It might be Yeah, it might be 4 hours away from Bogota, man. So most definitely.
Yeah, I've been doing some flight research because I plan on bouncing down to Rio from Medellin, and I gotta stop in Panama City first before I head down to Rio.
Oh, okay. You been to Panama City before?
Never.
Yeah, I heard it's nice, man. I want to check it out. I definitely want to check it out, man. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm not gonna hold you too much longer, man. When you come down to Medellin, look out for you. I'm gonna link up with you, man. We're gonna have a good time, bro.
For sure, man. I look forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, bro. Salute.
All right, take care.